And just like that, the next episode has begun. Welcome back to... Why am I doing the stupid voice? I should be serious here. Welcome back to Affectionately, This is for All. I'm your host, MegaShadowFist, second videos and second commentary. And when we last left off, we were, what are we doing? We're cross-examining the killer, so without further ado. While pretending to be the first person to discover the body and enter the scene... So you're saying most clients wouldn't do such a thing? That is correct. Usually, most people try to create an alibi for themselves. If you should use my services, Mr. Attorney, I would suggest you plan for your alibi too. No! I already told you! I have no intention of ever using your services! Why does he keep looking at me like I'm the one on trial here? Adrian Andrews already knew from the very beginning that Juan Corrida was dead. From the very beginning? That is correct, from before my client visited the room. All of my clients know precisely what the situation is at all times. I wonder if that's really true. That's odd. Or that's odd. But even more appalling is the creation and planting of the knife and the button. So probably this one, Adrian Andrews already knew from the very beginning that Juan Corrida was dead. That's what we're probably gonna have to do, present evidence for. But even more appalling is the creation and planting of the knife and button. So, why do you think your client did that? What do you mean by why? Well, fiddling around at the scene of the crime is pretty risky. And why would someone who has requested a murder go to the crime scene anyway? That is true. Oh, oops, butted to my pop filter. Let's adjust this. It's gonna pick up though, because I don't have a shock mount. I assume it was probably done to frame Mr. Ungod. If that's the case, then why didn't the person just request that you do it? Sadly, that is not possible. Huh? My job is to kill, that is all, and to leave my business card behind, naturally. The business card is so my client may escape blame. To protect them is my duty. Even if they say it's for revenge, setting someone else up to take your fall. That act is not what I was referring to when I said my client had broken the rules. And that's all you have to testify? Yes, and I pray that I will never be called to the stand again. Again? As in you plan to continue? I must, as I have yet to find a person to take my place, become the fourth successor. Actually, how would you like a new life, Mr. Attorney? Hey, I wish you wouldn't be too- I mean, excuse me? No, I'm fine, really. Are you really? God dang it. Come on, Judge. Seriously? Are you really now? I wonder what kind of man the judge thinks I am now. What are you going to do now, Phoenix? All I can do now is expose the lies. That's true. However, you realize that will be very bad for our client, right? I'm so confused. But the one thing I know for sure is I can't let this trial end yet. As if already blah 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 blah. Okay, so what we're gonna go back to. Yeah, the judge really has it out for me. Like, he's really convinced that we're gonna frickin' try to assassinate him for some reason. My client did to frame another crime, while pretending to be the first person to discover the body and enter the scene. Agent Andrews already knew from the very beginning that Juan Corrida was dead. Now, Edgeworth is like, that's interesting. So first what we're gonna do is press it again. Because if anything I've learned in this case that sometimes we have to do that. Let's press this again. From the very beginning, that is correct. From before my client visited the room. All of my clients know precisely what the situation is at all times. I wonder if that's really true. That's odd. Okay, so yeah. So, pressing it twice didn't do anything. So we're gonna have to go here. Adrian Andrews already knew from the very beginning that Juan Corrida was dead. Is that true? So what do we have to prove that what he's saying is it's basically a load of baloney. Let's see. Press conference ticket, nickel samurai, radio transceiver, Lada's camera, magazine clipping. She already knew from the very beginning that Juan Corrida was dead. That would make sense. But what about the wine glass? What about... Well, I'm not quite sure what this has to do with anything, but... Okay, so I don't think that any of this stuff has anything to do with... Wait a minute. No, that doesn't make sense. I was about to say, like, why would she want him dead She knew from the very beginning that Juan Corrida was dead. Okay, but, what are we going to... Let's look at the crime photo, okay? Let's look at this. She knew that he was dead from the very beginning. But there's no way of knowing that. I mean, it was messy, but how does this disprove anything though? That's the real question here. She knew, Agent Anderson already knew from the very beginning that the Juan Corrida was dead. Are you sure? What about the press conference ticket? I mean, cause like, I'm not quite sure if this, we'll go with it, I think. I'm not quite sure if this is really gonna mean anything, but we'll go with it. Nope, it didn't do anything. This evidence clearly reveals a contradiction in the statement, Your Honor. How exactly are the evidence in the statement just now related? They aren't, are they? Not at all! Mr. Wright, please think the facts over before making accusations. Oh boy, I don't think that won me any points with the judge. Okay, Agent Andrews already knew from the very beginning that Juan Corrida was dead. Okay. But, well, actually, let's try pressing this one, but even more pawns as of creation and planting of the knife and the button. Let's press this again. So why do you think your client did that? What do you mean by why? Well, fiddling around at the scene of the crime is pretty risky. And why would someone who has requested a murder go to the crime scene anyway? That is true. I assume it was probably done to frame Mr. Ungod. If that's the case, then why didn't the person just request that you do it? Sadly, that is not possible. Huh? My job is to kill, that is all, and to leave my business card behind, naturally. The business card is so my client may escape blame. To protect them is my duty. Even if they say it's for revenge, setting someone else up to take your fall. That act is what I was referring to when I said broken the rules, but even more appalling is the creation and planting of the knife. Adrian Andrews already knew from the very beginning that Juan Corrida was dead. But, hold on, there has to be something here. There has to be something here. Like, okay, let's go backwards. So we're gonna go from the least relevant evidence, which is the new stuff, to the most relevant, which is the old stuff. So let's do a side note, no. That doesn't make sense. Celeste's photo, no. No, none of that makes sense. If anything, that would prove. But what about the spy camera, though? But, knew from the very beginning that she was dead. Jam Ninja's button. Knife. We already tried the crime photo, did we not? No, we tried the whatchamacallit. The wine glass and the guitar case. Let's try this. I don't think this really proves anything, though. Oh, it does! Thank you so much for taking the time to testify, Mr. the Killer. What is the meaning of that attitude? When Adrian Andrews entered the victim's room, your client had no idea that Juan Corrida had been murdered. But how? How do you know that? From this wine glass, Your Honor. The glass? Mr. the Killer's supposed client thought Mr. Corrida had only fainted, which is why this glass of tomato juice is poured for the victim. But isn't that just a part of Adrian Andrews' calculated plan? That is not possible, Your Honor. This glass bears the fingerprints of that person. Had this been planned, they would never have left their fingerprints behind. I see your point. Mr. Edgeworth, what is your opinion? Strangely enough, I had the same exact thought just now. Witness, how do you explain this strange phenomenon? Oh, you're getting shaky, aren't you, the Killer? Or should I say red-white? Not that they're the same person, it's just that they have they both have this seemingly unbeatable personality to them. Isn't that a waste of time to ask about such a minor detail? It's not a very important point, correct? I'm afraid you are mistaken. If Agent Andrews really is your client, as you claim, then your client should have had knowledge of Mr. Corrida's death. If not... Then that can only mean that Agent Andrews was never your client at all. How strange. Yes? Why is it that the attorney has yet to raise an objection at this absurd situation? Phoenix, if the killer figures out what we're up to, we're in real trouble. Yeah, I know. Objection! Mr. Edgeworth, I'm surprised! You know you can't say things like that without any evidence! Ah, sorry. That sounded like an awfully weak objection to me! Anyway, I am positive there was a contradiction in that testimony. The prosecution requests further testimony concerning when the request was taken. Very well. Right now, I have to buy us more time. While we wait for the items the killer left behind to get here. I just know that the very outcome of this trial lies with those items. Witness testimony request taking. This request came to me, about a week ago. It was a request for my services on the night of the award ceremony. We met at a certain bar to discuss and finalize a few matters. That is what occurred. I trust my memory, and I believe I have made no mistakes. So you physically met your client, huh? That is correct. Meeting one's client is the first step to building trust, in my opinion. I see. Well, Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please. Alrighty then, cross-examination. Mr. Phoenix Wright, I swear, if you get the guilty verdict, I want to beat you, Mr. Phoenix Wright. That's all that I want to do. I can't let my little brother Edgeworth do it. No. Anyway, this request came to me, about a week ago. 1 week ago? Are you sure? Yes, I am quite sure. I, of course, had my own preparations, and I was barely able to finish. When you request my services, Mr. Attorney, I hope you will keep that in mind. Please stop. In any case, my client this time had a very specific date and time in mind. A specific date and time? It was a request for my services on the night of the award ceremony. Did you ask why on that specific night? No. I tried to fulfill all the conditions of my client's requests, but as for why, I only had my suspicions. Your suspicions, huh? Let's press further. So what are these suspicions you had? Why did your client request that night? I'm sure it was all for the bear. The bear? Huh, you mean the bear that was bought by Mr. On Guard? My client spoke of it. I'm sure there will be a bear-shaped figurine in Juan Corrida's room. I would like you to retrieve the item for me. He must be talking about this bear, but oh, I thought he was talking about the big bear. Inside the figurine was a suicide note. Naturally, the victim brought it with him to his hotel room. He was planning to publicly disclose its contents to press at the press conference, after all. That is correct. And if I had not done that job that night, I would not have known where that bear figurine was. I see. Well, Mr. Wright, was that testimony just now of any importance? It was very important. The testimony just now has made one thing clear, and that is... the client knew the secret of the bear figurine. Huh? Why is everyone so quiet? Mr. Wright, I think all of us already knew that. Oh, really? Witness, please continue with your test. Oh, I thought it was onto something. That was the first time they ever did something like that. We met at a certain bar to discuss and finalize a few matters. So you physically met Adrian Andrews, right? Of course I did. What was that? What was that brief pause? Press further. Witness! I would like for you to give us a few more details. I always meet my clients as a matter of principle. I have never taken a request by telephone or mail. And why is that? That's because I value the trust between a client and myself above all else. And the only way to establish that is to speak to the client while looking at them in the eye. Well, Mr. Wright, was the testimony just now of any importance? It was very important! Of course it was very important, Your Honor! If Mr. the Killer had met his client before the murder, then it's unlikely he is mistaken. Okay. So you're saying that his client really was Adrian Andrews? That's what I was thinking. I guess so. You see, it is just as I said. I'm so lost. Who the heck am I supposed to be helping here? Calm down, Phoenix. Think carefully and relax. Now then, would the witness please continue? That is what occurred. I trust my memory and I believe I have made no mistakes. Are you 100% sure about that? So your client was Adrian Andrews? That is correct. Well, he says the two of them met, but if they did, then there shouldn't be anything wrong with the killer's testimony. Well, there doesn't seem to be anything strange this time around. You have to draw more information from him, but you can't draw his suspicion. If you can do that, you should be able to find a flaw in his testimony somewhere. Talk about a delicate balance. Okay, so we have, this request came to me, about a week ago. It was a request for my services on the night of the award ceremony. We met at a certain bar to discuss and finalize a few matters. That is what occurred. I trust my memory and I believe I have made no mistakes. We met at a certain bar. Okay, so let's press this again, okay? So you physically met Adrian Andrews, right? Of course I did. What was that? What was the brief pause? Okay, let's press this further. Witness, I would like for you to give us a few more details. I always meet my clients as a matter of principle. I have never taken a request by telephone or mail. And why is that? That's because I value the trust between a client and myself above all else. And the only way to establish this is to speak to the client while looking at them in the eye. I said at them in the eye again. Well, Mr. Wright, was the testimony just now of any importance? If we say it was very important again. Of course it was very important, Your Honor. If Mr. the Killer had met his client before the murder, then it's unlikely he is mistaken. Okay, that's nothing new. Okay, now then, would the witness please continue? That is what occurred. I trust my memory and I believe I have made no mistakes. We met at a certain bar to discuss and finalize a few matters. It was a request for my services on the night of the award ceremony. But, question, why did you receive money from Adrian, or from... Let's see, where is the contradiction here? This request came to me, about a week ago. It was a request for my services on the night of the award ceremony. We met at a certain bar to discuss and finalize a few matters. The certain bar... Just what was that bar? Just what is a Tweedle anyway? It was a request for my services on the night of the award ceremony. Okay, so that can't be a contradiction. This request came to me, about a week ago. Okay, so it has to, so I think 3 is it. We met at a certain bar and discuss and finalize a few matters. This is the only one that I think that we could actually say is a legitimate lie, per se. Because... this credit card receipt... What on earth does this have to do with anything? We go back. That is what occurred. I will trust my memory, and I believe I have made no mistakes. Are you sure about that? So let's think about this. About a week ago. When was this dated? Credit card receipt. Let's check this. It doesn't say. It doesn't give us a date. Okay, it doesn't give us a date. But hold on. Let me try. I want to try this. Cause the credit card receipt for the stuffed bear. Does this really mean anything? We'll find out in the next episode. Okay, bye. See you guys in the next episode.